Good morning everyone. Welcome to the English class. In the previous class, we learned the story, The Unhappy Tree. Today we will see the exercises from the chapter. Before that, all of you, please read the story once again and then come back to the exercise. Let's move on to the first set of questions. It's reading comprehension. With your elbow partner, complete these sentences with details from the story. Let's see the first one. The little fir tree was dash of the other trees. The little fir tree was jealous or envious of the other trees. Yep, you can fill in the blanks there with suitable words. Question number 2. The little tree wanted dash leaves as its first wish. The tree wanted green leaves as its first wish. Third one, a dash ate all its leaves. It ate all its leaves. The little tree asked for dash leaves as its second wish. Its second wish was to have glass leaves. Now the fifth one, the leaves broke in a storm. Now the sixth one, the little tree wished for leaves of dash as its third wish. So when it made the third wish, it wished for leaves made of gold. 7. A dash man stole all the golden leaves. A young man stole all the golden leaves. 8. The little tree wanted its dash back again as its last wish. So at last, it wished to get back its needles. So it is needles to be written there. Now 9. Finally, it was dash with what it had. So finally, it was proud and happy with what it had. So that was section A. Now let's move on to section B. Read these sentences and answer the questions that follow. You can note down the questions and answers in your notebook. The first question. There came a young man with a large sack. Part A. What strange thing did the young man see? So what was it? As a young man was passing through a forest, he noticed a gleam of golden leaves. Part B. What did he use his sack for? The young man used his sack to stuff it with golden leaves, the golden leaves of the tree. If only I could have my needles. Part A. What was the tree's wish? The tree wished to have its needles back again. Now, part B. Did it complain again? How did it feel? The tree did not complain again and it felt proud and happy. So that was section B. Now section C, think and answer. There are two questions given here. Why was the little fir tree sad at the beginning of the story? And question 2 is, why was the little fir tree happy at the end of the story? So these two questions you have to answer yourselves in your notebook. You do this as an activity. Please pause the video, finish writing the answers and come back. Hope you are done with that. Now let me share my thoughts on these questions. The first one, why was the little fir tree sad at the beginning of the story? So I think the little tree was sad because it was spring and while the other trees in the forest were sprouting beautiful leaves, it was covered in sharp and prickly needle-shaped leaves. So, question 2. Why was the little fir tree happy at the end of the story? So, I think the little tree was happy at the end of the story because all its needles were back and it was content with its needles. I hope you wrote the answers for both of the questions in your notebook. Now, the next is values and life skills, and it's about coping with emotions. Now, coping with emotions is an important life skill. It means recognizing one's own emotions as well as that of the others, and also being aware of how emotions affect or influence behavior. We should learn to respond to emotions appropriately. Intense emotions like anger or sadness can have negative effects on our health. So it's very important to learn good coping skills. You can practice a few things to cope up with emotions. First, you have to be aware of how you feel. You have to feel what you're feeling. And if you feel stressed out, you can try some relaxation techniques such as deep breathing, or you can go for a walk, and have some time for yourself and hang out with friends and family or talk to someone you trust. Now here a question is given. Have you wished for something that you do not need but want to have? Share your thoughts in class. So in the story, The Unhappy Tree, we saw how the little fig tree was so unhappy and overwhelmed about the way it looked. It had its best when it had its original needles or needle-shaped leaves, but it wished for different types of leaves and it got all its wish granted, but the consequences were not good. If the tree could have handled its emotions better, it wouldn't have to go through such consequences. Now, here one question is given. Have you wished for something that you do not need but want to have? Share your thoughts in class. So there may be some wish that you have. You are not in need of actually. You may not need it, but you wish to have it. So you can talk about it to your friends and family. Now let's move on to the next section. It is the grammar section. This is about adverbs. And what do you mean by an adverb? Look into your textbook. A few examples are given there. The little tree stood bravely in the wood. See the verb stood? It is the past tense of the verb stand. Bravely, the word bravely describes more about how the tree stood there. So how the tree stood there? The tree stood bravely. The tree laughed merrily. So the verb here is laugh, or the past tense is laughed, and how it laughed? It laughed merrily. So the word merrily describes more about how the tree laughed or more about the verb. So words such as this, like bravely or merrily, words which describe more about a verb are called adverbs. Words that tell us more about verbs are called adverbs. Some adverbs are found by adding ly to adjectives. For example, the word brave is an adjective. And here we have added the letters L and Y to the word brave to get bravely, which is an adverb here. And also merry is an adjective and we have added ly to get merrily. And now it became an adverb. Now in the following exercise, you're asked to change the adjectives to adverbs. 6 adjectives are given there. You have to change them into adverbs by adding ly. You do this as an exercise now. Please pause the video, finish it and come back. Hope you are done with that. Now let's discuss the answers. The first one is quiet and the adverb is quietly. The next one is slow. It is slowly. 3. Sad, sadly. Next one is proud, proudly. Next is brave, bravely. And the last one is light and it is changed to lightly. Hope you got them all correct. Now let's discuss about the types of adverbs. There are 3 types of adverbs: adverbs of manner, adverbs of place and adverbs of time. Now what do you mean by adverbs of manner? So adverbs of manner are those which describe how that verb is done or how that action is done. For example, the little tree stood bravely. The bravely is an adverb and it is an adverb of manner. Adverbs of manner tell us how or the manner in which the action is done. The next is adverbs of place. So adverbs of place tell us where this action is happening. For example, the little tree stood in the midst of a wood. In the midst of shows where the tree is standing. So it is an example of an adverb of place. Adverbs of place tell us where the action takes place. Now, adverbs of time. What would it be? Adverbs of time are those which describe when the action is happening. For example, that night there came a fierce storm. So that night describes when that storm came. So adverbs of time tell us when the action takes place. Let's move on to the next section. There are many adverbs in the story. Choose 2 for each type and write them in the correct columns. So you go to the story once again. You have to find adverbs. Adverbs of manner, time and place from the story and then you have to fill in this table. You do this as an activity now. Please pause this video, complete the table and then come back. Hope you are done with that exercise. Now, let's discuss the answers. The first column, adverbs of manner. So, which are the adverbs of manner from the story? They are, one is already given there, merrily. The other two are sadly and poorly. Then adverbs of time. First one is given there, that night. Two more are next day, in the morning. Now the next is adverbs of place. First one given there is here. Two more are down and on the ground. Hope you got them right. Now the next section is, let's make an adverb chain story. Use an adverb from the table above to add a sentence to the story. And you have some rules also. Each one of you must use an adverb from the table above. Every time you use an adverb, put a tick mark in the table. The one who uses all the adverbs first is the winner. You could use these hints. Once upon a time, there lived a queen. She lived merrily in her palace with her husband and their two children. Sometimes. So, this one you can do as a fun activity with your friends and family. Use each of these adverbs given in the table and then you make up a story. Now let's move on to the next section. It's the listening section. And here, listen to a story and fill in the blanks with words from it. So, I'm going to read out a story to you. You have to listen to it very carefully and then you have to fill up the blanks given in this paragraph. So, let me read out the story to you. A poor woodcutter dropped his axe into the river. Just then, a fairy appeared in the river, holding out a golden axe to him. The fairy then brought out a silver axe. The woodcutter said these weren't his. The fairy brought out his wooden axe and the woodcutter took it. The fairy said he was an honest man and gave him all the three axes. Hope you listened to the story very carefully and you got all the proper words to fill up the blanks. Now, let's move on to the next section. It is the speaking exercise and it's about role play. And what do you mean by role play? Role play means that you're imagining that you're someone else. You're imitating the character and behavior of someone else. Make a story like the one you read in this chapter. Work in groups and make notes. Narrate your story to your class. And some clues are given there. This is a story about he or she or it was jealous or unhappy or upset or sad or scared because. First wish, what happened? Second wish, then what happened? Then a third wish, and you can tell what happened next. And last wish, what happened in the end. You're asked to make up a story and tell the story. A story similar to the story we learned in the chapter, The Unhappy Tree. So you have to tell that the story is about whom and this person is sad or jealous or scared, whatever it is, and why. And then this person wishes for something and whether it got granted and what happened next. What happened when he or she made a second wish, a third wish, and a fourth wish. What happened after each wish also you can talk about in the story. You can record your stories and send us through Teams. The next section is the spelling exercise and it's about plurals. What do you mean by plurals? When there is only one item, we say it's singular. And when there is more than one, we say it is plural. The plural of leaf is leaves. We add VES to nouns ending with F and FE to form plurals. See the word leaf ends with the letter F. And we added the letters VES to get the plural of the word leaf. So it is leaf, the plural is leaves. Leaf is singular, leaves is plural. Let's see some more examples. Knife, that word ends with the letters FE. The plural is knives, where FE is replaced with VES. The next is dwarf, plural is dwarfs. F is replaced with VES. Then shelf, shelves. F is replaced with VES again. Then elf, elves. The last letter F is replaced with VES. But then there are also words which are not changed by adding VES. Let's see some examples. Some nouns ending in F or FFE or FF take an S to form plurals. For example, roof, roofs. Roof ends with the letter F, but in the plural, you just add an S to it. Instead of replacing it with VES, you just add an S to the end. So it is roof, roofs. The word giraffe, it ends with FFE. Instead of adding VES, we just add one S to the end. Giraffe, giraffes. Similarly, sheriff, sheriffs. Let's move on to the next exercise. Change these to their plural forms. So you are given 8 words there. These words are in their singular form. You have to change it to their plural forms. We can use a dictionary if needed. You please pause this video, do this as an activity now and then come back. Hope you are done with that exercise. Now let's discuss the answers. The first one, leaf. The plural is leaves. Second is half. Plural is halves. Wife, wives. Laugh, laughs. Life, lives. Calf, calves. Hoof, hoofs. Chief, chiefs. See, in all the words except the last one, the letter F or the letters FE were replaced with VES. But in the last word chief, just an S is added to the end to get the plural form. Let's move on to the next section. It is the writing activity and it's about story writing. You have already spoken about your own story in the class. Now, follow the steps given under speaking and write the story. In the speaking exercise, I had asked you to make up a story and tell the story and record it. Now that you have your own story, you can write the story in your notebook. So this section is about writing a story or story writing. You write the story in your notebook, take a picture and send us to Teams. And the next one is an activity for making a bookmark. So this is going to be very interesting. Let us make a bookmark using flowers or leaves. Collect fallen flowers or leaves and dry them by keeping them between the pages of a book. Cut a piece of cardboard into any shape for a bookmark. Color it and stick the dry flowers or leaves on it. Your bookmark is ready. Gift it to your friends and family. So this is a fun activity to make an interesting bookmark. So what you have to do, you have to collect fallen flowers or dry leaves and then you have to keep them between the pages of a book so that they become flat and thin. And once they become flat and thin and dried out completely, you can stick these flowers or dry leaves on a piece of cardboard of any shape that you like. And then you can color it and now your beautiful bookmark is ready. You can make more and more bookmarks. You can have them for yourself or you can gift it to someone else. So when you make these bookmarks, do take a picture and send us to Teams. Now the next one is my word bank and read these words and write their opposites. Here a set of 6 words are given. You have to find out the opposites of these words given here and then write in your notebook. You can use a dictionary if needed. Before this video, finish writing the opposites of the words and then come back. Hope you're done with that exercise. Let's see the answers. The first one, the word is nibbled. The opposite is gobbled. Next is shiny. The opposite is dull. Jealous, contented. Laughed, cried. Beautiful, ugly. Proud, the opposite is ashamed. Children, we have come to the end of this chapter and its exercises. I hope all are clear to you. You have to go through this chapter and all the exercises once again and make sure you finish all the homework activities as well. That's all for today. We'll meet in the next class with a new chapter. Till then, bye.